I thought I was going to deliver like the Hebrew women. Because I woke up, did my makeup, did my hair, and wore clothes that I actually like the color. I don't know why. But I think it's all part of it. I've not felt this good in like 9 months, which is a very, very long time. Which leads me to what I'm about to talk about today. I want to talk about mental health during pregnancy because I suddenly feel like I'm getting back to my old self in terms of my mindset. Usually, I'm very upbeat and I'm very grateful and I'm very, I don't know how to describe it, but I always feel like I have a burst of energy. There's so many things I want to do. That's my typical mindset. But during my pregnancy, I was very, the vibration was low. Let's just put it that way. I can sit down, my head will just be turning on its own, like thinking of so many weird, bad things. And I realized that the emotional state of a woman during pregnancy can affect so many things and then can lead up to postpartum depression. Mental health during pregnancy is something a lot of people, especially women that are pregnant, do not know about. Also, they don't even focus on it during pregnancy, but you need to, because if you don't focus on your mental health during pregnancy, it can lead to something else that will be more difficult to control. I shared that my pregnancy was a surprise pregnancy that came with a surprise. So I've had 3 kids. In my head, we're done having kids. Like my last baby was my surprise baby. So I was just like, yeah, family of 5, just perfect. Everything is good. And I had some projects in the works that I've been working on for years that I was like, this is the year I'm going to finish it. And then suddenly I fell pregnant. And then I discovered that, okay, I shared it in my other video, in another video, so go and check it out, how I discovered I was pregnant. But from the beginning of the pregnancy, I was already stressed. And those kind of things affect your mental health and your emotions. I was already stressed from the beginning of pregnancy because, first of all, we thought we were going to have a miscarriage. And then every day the doctor is like, just wait for yourself to, you just bleed out, and then that's that. And then that never happened. And then the pregnancy progressed, and I was so, we're like, okay, the pregnancy is progressing. We're going to be a family of what? 6, 4 children, 2 parents. Perfect. But later on, I found out, oh, we're not just expecting a surprise pregnancy. We're expecting a surprise. We're having twins. So, you guys, that is an emotional wild ride for anybody that feels like they finished giving birth to all their children. You guys know the state of the economy right now. I was just, my brain go just a spark every 5 minutes. You guys, it was not easy those first couple of months. It wasn't easy. And coupled with the fact that I was stuck at home, I was tired, I could not lift a finger. I was not feeling good mentally. Everything was not balanced mentally. So that was when I started thinking about my mental state, thinking about my mental health, and taking it more seriously. I'm protecting myself because you have to protect yourself to balance your mental health sometimes, right? And that's one of the reasons I didn't share that I was pregnant, because I was protecting my mental health, because I didn't want any feedback while I was pregnant. I wanted to be done with the pregnancy and be in a normal state of mind to handle any opinion from anybody about my pregnancy. So first of all, keep yourself educated, but do not overburden your mind. Because sometimes I'll tell my husband that, do you know that this, I saw that this. The guy will be like, you have gone to read something again, or you went to watch something. You're like, why are you doing that? Why are you punishing yourself? Even if something bad is going to happen, you have punished yourself before you even get to that stage. Why are you doing that to yourself? And something I figured out is that, you guys, if you start thinking about bad things, somehow bad things now start manifesting. Have you ever experienced that? Well, for me, when I focus so much on bad things happening, surprise, surprise, these things start happening. So I try not to focus on things like that, on things that are going to make me sad, depressed, which is why even though Twitter is one of my favorite social media platforms, when I was pregnant, I really tried to limit my activity there and to just keep it strictly work related, because sometimes you just go there, you just see topics that trigger you, and when you start triggering yourself on a normal day is bad. How much more when you are pregnant? There's so many things that can trigger you, right? So you have to protect yourself from the kind of things you see, from the kind of things you hear, from the kind of people you give yourself access to. When me, I see something, for example, I'm just scrolling on Twitter, I just see something, I just swipe. When I'm reading, let's say I'm reading, and they just start talking one rubbish, swipe up and out of there. You need to be careful who has access to you, things you give yourself access to, the kind of knowledge that enters your head. Some of you are innocent, you have not had a lot of life experiences. Let's remove pregnancy aside now. You've not had a lot of life experiences, and you'll be watching people that are bitter, people that have had things that they caused themselves, not things that happened to them, things that they caused themselves. You now be listening to them saying things that are so biased, and you will allow that become your truth, and you will start living the rubbish life they are living. You need to be careful what you're watching. Podcasts, to YouTube video, TikTok, all these things. You have to be careful what you are watching, what you are reading, the kind of people that are your role models, that you are giving permission to enter your brain and your mind and to build castles there. You have to be very careful about it. Even in pregnancy, even when you're not pregnant, this applies to everybody. I just wanted to chip that in. When it comes to mental health, you have to stay informed, right? The advantage of being informed, giving yourself knowledge, is that you arm yourself with information. It reduces the fear of the unknown for you, but balancing the information will take away the stress. For example, in my first pregnancy, I did not share it until I'd had the baby. I think about 2 months after I've had the baby. I had an emergency C-section for that pregnancy. I was not expecting to have an emergency C-section or a C-section. I thought I was going to deliver like the Hebrew women. So first of all, when that was not reality for me, it was sad, because I was reading Supernatural Childbirth. If you've read Supernatural Childbirth, you know what I'm talking about. So I felt like, first of all, my faith was not strong enough to allow me to give birth like the Hebrew woman. But also, after I gave birth, I received a comment that said, "Oh, you're so lazy. You are a lazy girl. I've always known you will not be able to push this baby out because of you're a lazy girl." It was a casual comment, but you guys, that comment stayed at the back of my head. And if not that I was mentally strong, that comment could have made me spiral, because I was like, I am not a lazy girl. On a normal day, I am outworking. I work hard physically, mentally. I'm emotionally strong, right? So I'm like, oh, truly, am I lazy? Am I a lazy girl? What other women can do? They just open leg, picking come out. Some people even tell you before they go to the hospital, they don't born the picking. Why I reach my turn now, picking not come outside like that? Why? Why is my case different? So if I was not mentally okay, right, I would have taken that comment the wrong way, but I laughed over it. Even though hours, days, months, it's been years, and that comment is still in my head. you can see why you need to protect your mental health and the kind of people that talk to you while you are pregnant, even when you are not pregnant, the kind of things you allow people to say to you. You need to watch it. Now, I have gone on to have 3 more C-sections. All my pregnancies have ended up in C-sections because after that first one, I thought I was going to die. And I just, had C-sections for the rest. So if you have any C-section question, ask me in the comment section because I kind of feel like I'm experienced in that department. I've had 5 children and all 5 were C-sections. So anyways, yeah, keep yourself informed because it helps you make balanced decisions, and it helps you reduce anxiety during pregnancy. When I was pregnant, there's something I noticed I was doing. I would send my husband maybe a text message and be like, I'm not 100%. And what I'm not 100% means is you people should be careful what you say to me in this period. Do not walk anyhow around me. Do not eat anyhow around me. Do not say rubbish around me. Like, watch yourself. No, but that, like, it's just to let him know that right now I am in my vulnerable era. Please, people should be careful. In fact, if you have any positive things to say to me, say it to me right now because I need a bit of boosting and uplifting. And I used to do that. And it's important to surround yourself with a great support system during your pregnancy. My sisters were my support system, my parents. I was always on FaceTime, you guys. Sometimes we have so much to say, and there are days that there's nothing to say, but the FaceTime is on. I'm watching my sister cook, watching her clean her house. Me, I'm just chilling on the bed, or she's watching me do something, and she's just doing her work. We are on FaceTime all the time. One is baking, one is doing this with her child. Well, that's just what we're doing. Sometimes we're just listening to everybody breathing. Now, we don't even say goodbye when we end the conversation. We just off the phone to be continued tomorrow. And we just carry on like we did not just end yesterday. Sometimes we have days where we chat all day into the night, the next day. See, that support system is really good. Also, I had my sister-in-law. For some reason, she was very available to me. And like I said, sometimes she's not saying anything. Sometimes she's even sleeping as I'm talking. But just the fact that she was there, right, was everything. Sometimes I just talk about all the things I'm afraid of the future. And sometimes we're just talking about random things. This way no make sense, like just going left, right. We're just talking, right? So I really appreciated that when I was pregnant, even though I've not told her directly, but I will, that I really appreciated her just being there as a listening ear. Sometimes that's all you need to do, just to open your ear for the other person to be talking into. That's all you need to do. So yeah, I really appreciated that. My parents, the people around me, I was really, really grateful for their support. Since a lot of people did not know I was pregnant, those were the only support systems that I had. You can also get virtual support systems if you do not have people that you can talk to, right? You can have pregnancy groups. I joined a few pregnancy groups. I started following twin mom pages just so that I can know what to expect, so that I can be like, oh, this is what is happening to me. Oh, is this happening to you too? Somebody says it's happening to them. You start feeling like, okay, we're on the same page. So it's really good. I like following support systems like that because it's real life experience. This is not textbook knowledge. They are giving you their real life experience and you are sharing back with them. A strong support system will provide you with emotional reassurance and practical help, and then it will make you feel less isolated. If there's something I did a lot while I was pregnant, it was reading. I was reading a lot. A lot of the books that I bought, that I kept on my shelf to decorate my room, I started reading them. Books from Nigerian authors. I was reading cookbooks. I was reading all kinds of books online and offline. That was self-care for me. What is self-care for you? You have to discover what is self-care for you. For some people, it's going to the spa. For some people, it's going to a restaurant, or the restaurants in wherever they are. For some people, it is traveling. Traveling is self-care for them. And some people, it's just resting, sleep. Sleeping is self-care for them. Whatever self-care is for you, you need to find it for yourself, and you need to indulge while you're pregnant. That is one way to balance your mental health. You need to prioritize activities that revitalize and rejuvenate you. Self-care routines will help you manage stress, boost your mood, and you can maintain a positive outlook on your pregnancy. Those are the reasons why you need to prioritize self-care. Also, you need to find ways to manage your, stress and anxiety. I can be a very anxious person, and something I was doing a lot while I was pregnant was staying with Bible quotes. I was reading a lot of Bible quotes about positive things, about pregnancies, about children, about families, about the promises of God for my life, for my future. Those were the things that kept me grounded to avoid anxiety. For you, it might be different, but if you want those Bible passages, I can share them. For some people, listening to good music is one way to manage anxiety. But when it comes to music, be very careful. Somebody like me, you guys, I was listening to a song when I was pregnant. It was talking about heartbreak. And you guys, I started wailing. Ask me why I'm wailing. Was I heartbroken? No. Nothing in the lyrics of the song concerned me, but I was crying because I suddenly connected with the song and connected with the lyrics. You need to be careful the kind of music you're listening to, because music is powerful. Music has access to your brain without your permission. Have you ever noticed that sometimes there are some songs that are trending? You've never sat down to listen to this song, but you know the lyrics of the song. You know how the song goes from beginning to end. You have never actively listened to that song, but you do. That's because music enters your brain without your permission. So you need to be careful the kind of music you're listening to. Listen to uplifting music, music that will ease your anxiety. That's what I was doing when I was pregnant, listening to good music, and I cut off a lot of the rubbish songs I was listening to. Sometimes they are not rubbish, but the lyrics are just not helping you, bringing bad vibes, so I cut them off. Now, another thing that helped me was to set realistic expectations, okay? Life cannot be perfect. Life cannot be what you are used to. For somebody like me, that we were making such a big change, life is never going to go back to the way it used to be for me. It's going to be different, and I had to accept it, and I had to be joyful in it, and now I am so grateful for the change, right? You need to know that things will not go exactly the way you want it to go. Even with the pregnancy, like I said, sometimes some people might end up with a C-section. Some people might end up experiencing so many things in their pregnancy that can make them depressed. And at the end of the day, after having the baby, they have postpartum depression, and they cannot understand why. Because I should be grateful I've had the baby, shouldn't I? But there's so many things you pass through during the pregnancy that has led up to that moment for postpartum depression. So I'll advise you to set realistic expectation for you, the baby, your body, your environment, and everything that's happening, especially with your body. Especially with your body. You guys, the first thing I thought about when I heard I was pregnant was, hey, I had a photo shoot planned for October last year, and I had been working so hard doing intermittent fasting to get flat belly for that photo shoot. It was supposed to be the cover of a book. And when I realized I was pregnant, my face changed, everything changed, and I realized that photo is not going to happen in the next 10 months. It made me very sad because I've been working on that project for a long time. So I had to be more realistic and be like, okay, it might not now be a 2023 goal anymore. It might now be a 2024 goal. And I had to accept that. Those are the kind of things, those little things can lead to depression. I'm like, it's not the end of life. It's just that the goal shifted a bit, and it might have shifted for my benefit at the end of the day. So I had to accept so many things for me to be in a perfect state of mind. I had to stay grateful for the opportunities that I got, and just for the gift of carrying multiple pregnancies, you guys. It's a miracle. A few days ago, I put up a post on Instagram, and it was just a short clip of me that said, I can't believe this is my life. You can interpret it to mean, I can't believe I'm grateful for my life. You can interpret it to mean, oh my Lord, my life is crazy right now. Like, I'm not happy. But for me, I was just in the middle. It was just, I can't believe this is my life. I got a lot of responses to that video that I posted on Instagram, but one response stood out, and it was, Sisi, Yemmie, do not give in to postpartum depression. You have to fight it. And I was like, this person is really aware of what happens in postpartum, because after she said that thing to me, I was like, this is so true. What if this is what is happening to me? What if I'm slowly slipping into depression, right? Sometimes we just slip into it and we don't know that we're on that journey there. So it was a great reminder for me to actively fight it, right? To actively fight it. And ever since I got that response, I have been actively fighting it, because it is easy in my situation for me to just, give up on maybe my dreams, or give up on so many things, and just find myself wallowing in self-pity and just suddenly depressed, and then not being grateful for where I am. Like, it's easy to go there, but I am on the other side. I said it in my video when I announced my birth, that I am now on the other side. I am on the other side for real, and I thank God for it, because mental health is not a joke. If your head is not correct in the right place, it's another level of suffering. It's another level of suffering. And we have to be aware that it's a real thing. Depression and mental health in pregnancy is a real thing, and we have to take it seriously and actively fight it. Ways that you can fight it is by communicating with the people around you. Like I said, I used to send my husband messages that say, I'm not in a good place, blah, blah, blah. And he will just maybe do something to take my mind off it. I can watch a movie, I can read a book, I can start doing something else. But it's just good to communicate to people around you that you are not 100%. And hopefully those people care enough about you to help you during that difficult period, or to just bring you out of that hole, because depression is like a hole. You just find yourself sinking and sinking and sinking. I remember telling my sister-in-law that I feel like I'm falling into a well and there's no way out. Maybe that's why she started listening to me. I don't know. I need to ask her. But I remember saying that thing multiple times, because that was how I felt. I felt like there was a hole and I was trying to escape from this hole, and now I can no longer escape because it's now over. I find myself sinking and sinking, and there's no way out for me anymore. But that's a lie. That's a lie from the pit of hell. In the early parts of my pregnancy, I used to cry a lot. I was very emotional. For me, crying was like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I cry steady. Like, I could just wake up and start crying for no reason. And now I'm better. On a normal day, I cry like once a month to balance things out. But during that pregnancy, it was extra, right? So, those were dark days. I was very vulnerable, and that's something you need to be aware of. You need to communicate this to people around you so that they can help you, right? If you need to see a therapist and you can afford it, you can do that. For some people, church is therapy. And you can go to church, sing. By the time you have activities, you will not be thinking of yourself. You will not be wallowing in self-pity. You will not be... The things that are making you depressed, you might have a break from them, and your brain can have time, your mental health can have time to balance. That's what I would advise. One thing people tend to overlook when it comes to mental health, right, especially in pregnancy, is your nutrition when you're pregnant. Do you know the kind of food you eat can affect your mood? That's a very nice tagline. Your food can affect your mood. There are some foods you eat that just boost your mood. Like, literally, there are some foods that make you happy. Things like bananas, coconuts, coffee, avocados, berries, dark chocolate, fermented foods, things like that, mushrooms, they make you happy. These are happy foods. And I had to start reading about nutrition in pregnancy to really help myself. I started eating a lot of foods. I created a lot of recipes that I called happy recipes. These are recipes that had ingredients that once you eat those foods, they find a way to your system and they make you happy. I'm not a magician, but that's how some foods are wired to be. Some foods help you sleep. Some foods help you stay awake. Some food helps to boost your mood, right? And some foods can even keep you in a depressive state. So you need to know the kind of food to eat while you are pregnant. Something I was drinking a lot when I was pregnant was turmeric tea, and that's because turmeric tea was known for boosting the moods of people. When you drink it, it can help you boost your mood. So I was eating a lot of happy food. I was drinking a lot of happy drinks. If you want to know these foods and drinks, I will link it in the description box. You guys, the description box is below this video. Just click see more and you have access to maybe information I was talking about in this video. It will be down there in the description box if you want to get these recipes or just foods in general that I was eating while I was pregnant. I have a book about it that you can download to your phone. It contains information about the nutrients I ate during my pregnancy, things you can eat to be more fertile, foods that can boost the probability of you having multiple pregnancies, having twins, foods that can help you for your C-section. Really, my healing during this period, even though I'm talking about mental health, but let me just chip this in. I recovered faster during this pregnancy with twins than in all my pregnancies because I was more educated. I was eating the right things. I was doing the right things. I was very, very focused. You guys, if you can hear kids crying, that's the new soundtrack of my life. So if you want to have access to all that information, nutrition in pregnancy, especially relating to us as Nigerians, I will link it in my description box for you to download. Focus on good nutrition because good nutrition, it supports your body, it supports your brain, and it contributes to better mental health and your energy levels, you guys. Do not take food for granted and do not just eat anyhow. Food is beyond satisfying cravings. Do not eat anyhow. If you feel like after doing all of this, you are not still balanced, you feel like you're not in a good place, you are struggling, then you need to seek professional help. If you experience persistent feelings of sadness, anxiety, depression, do not hesitate to reach out to like a healthcare provider or mental health professional because early intervention can help manage mental health challenges before they escalate so that you can receive the support that you need. I hope this video was very helpful to you guys. It was very helpful for me to make this video as well because there are some things I was thinking about that I remembered even for myself in this video. And I struggled to make this video, you guys. Let me confess. I've done this video before this morning and then I realized that my microphone was not recording. That alone can shift my mental health. I was sad. I was like, why is it that this important video is not recording, right? So there was video, but there was no audio. So I had to refilm this video. So shout out to me for pulling through. Like, I'm very proud of myself. I hope you guys like this video. If you do, don't forget to leave a nice comment. I'll see you in my next